probably look like a penguin.
VORTEC 350, it's going to replace the 283 that's in the lemans. Ditch all of the fuel injection, this intake manifold. Look at this thing. Not bad, eh? Hopefully it makes more power than the 283 does. Let's unplug the rest of this. If we want to be fancy, we got air conditioning too. Alternator's got a plug in the back of here. These are the simplest alternators to wire. If you look at this plug, there's just one wire. And then you just run positive wire to the alternator. And it'll charge. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the easiest alternators if you're trying to wire up an external one. Okay. Is that all the wiring? Grabbing 3 sizes because I don't remember what one it is. Oh. The guy took the starter from this motor. Now the Subaru doesn't have a starter. This motor doesn't have a starter, so I need 2 starters. Buying 1 starter is fine. Buying 2, I'll just share them. Every time I want to drive one car, I'll just take one off and put it on the other car. If we can take off that clutch fan. Some of y'all might be curious what size wrench you need to take the clutch fan off. I couldn't tell you. I just took a 1 1/8 wrench and grinded down the sides of it till it fit. The motor rotates. Little 10 mil on the water pump bolt for the pulley. And then just put this wrench on here. Give it a little nudge. It came off. They're not really supposed to be torqued on that hard anyway. So. Good stuff, good stuff. With the truck. I think there's a hidden bolt. Let's find out together. So putting this back together, show you how to delete the AC compressor and have it all look clean.
Lighting. So the sun's gone.
Why is this thing stuck on now? There we go. Oh my gosh, look how slow this thing's moving.
How much does the motor weigh?
Right now, probably 600 pounds. It's definitely out of fluid. Any actual hydraulic fluid? I have brake fluid. That's sort of the same thing. I'm in here. I don't know how much it would need. Brake fluid doesn't, it's not like normal engine oil, so it does hydraulic stuff. I'm no expert, but I think that's going up, isn't it? Staying clear, everybody. Okay, now you put it on.
Look at the stomach.
Why is all this stuff so fast? Brake fluid works as hydraulic fluid.
The coolant.
Motor was removed from the truck. You see this intake? Go right there. What I'm gonna do is take all the stuff off the engine. We've got a couple broken exhaust manifold studs. First thing first, puke coolant all over the ground. The rest of it was on my leg yesterday. This hose probably won't come off either. question is, do we get a new water pump or does this one work? Everything else will be silver. There we go. Okay. Intake is only 8 bolts. Pull plug wires off the thing here. And there's the distributor. All the parts in it should work still. Cam sensor and all that, as long as it didn't throw a code. Never seen it before. Removed. See, the stud is snapped right in this hole here. Look like they have never been changed with how rusty those are, so this is a little bit concerning with removing the spark plugs from the cylinder head without snapping them. So we'll put PB Blaster on here to oil it up. We'll try to crack them by hand after, but we're gonna come to the other side. You see we got another snapped one, it looks like, on the back side here. Okay. So that came off like that. Someone really glued this thing down. Put the exhaust on there. No. Intake on just to see what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna make sure it fits, and it does fit. So there's our VORTEC carbureted intake manifold. We're gonna get a new oil pan. Probably gonna leave this water pump because I think it's fine. I'm just taking out the spark plugs here. We got one more to take out. I just actually broke it, so they're super rusty. But I broke off the end of this one by hitting it with the ratchet by accident. They're kind of a fight to get out, so I'm gonna have to like thread chase them to make sure when we put the new ones in, it goes in fine. But if you come over here, you see all the other ones. And when you take a look at them, you can see, you know, the motor, look at my hand shake. The motor was running actually pretty good. Spark plugs hadn't been changed. I can almost guarantee these are the original spark plugs. They're AC Delco plugs. They're probably original with how rusty they are. But the truck ran good. Got the oil cooler lines off. I have to get an adapter, convert the block to just a regular spin-on filter. So what we're gonna do here is weld a nut onto the end of this thing and see if we can get this stud out of here. Okay. So you see down here, bolt was snapped off, put a nut on the end of here, welded it on. A lot of PB Blaster oil was red hot. And then I've already done this side like 4 times and the nut kept snapping off each time. But finally, after so long, I got this one loose now and I started threading it out. Basically what I'm doing is I just keep working it back and forth like this. And I go a little bit to the left again. Yeah, grab that in my hand and there we go. Nice. Our little progress update from the last clip. Block is painted blue. I know some people are gonna be like, that looks like a Ford motor, it looks like a Chrysler, or whatever. 305s are painted this color. I know this is a 350. Just wanted to do blue just to be different. I think it looks pretty cool. And we did the valve cover silver, matches the intake. I think the overall thing looks pretty good. We still need to put valve cover gaskets, intake gaskets, so we're going to do that. Went ahead and picked up some plugs because this intake has coolant ports that are just open, so you have to plug all those up. I picked up this thing so we can put the engine in just from the intake like this instead of having to run like a strap across it and whatever. So I'm going to pull this off, and I got a carb adapter kit here. Save a little bit of money because this is a square bore, and we're going to put the Quadrajet back on this thing until we can afford a better carb for it. And so we're just going to be running with the Quadrajet for now. What I'm going to do is set up a time lapse, get all these parts on, and then we'll start switching the car around and start tearing it down. All right, 283 removed out of the lemans, 350 ready to go in. What I think is just crazy to think about is like this block was made in 59, this block was made in 98. You're talking a 40-year difference, and they look the exact same. Like there's like no difference at all. Maybe like slight differences and a little bit of stuff, but I mean, like, overall, they genuinely look the same. More things you have to do before we can actually put this motor inside the car. One thing is we're going to put this thermostat in, and we also got this oil pan. But one thing I do when I get a new thermostat is I like to drill a hole like this. Some people are going to say that defeats the purpose of the thermostat, blah, blah, blah. It really doesn't, because it's only going to flow such little amount of coolant. But what this does is, say this thermostat fails, coolant is still going to flow through here just a little bit, so that you're not going to overheat this motor quite as to the extent as you might if the thermostat did fail. The other thing it helps for is when you're bleeding the coolant. If you have a hole like this in your thermostat, when you go to bleed these things, it will take you about 10 seconds to fully bleed the whole system. VORTEC 350, just put all the stuff together without a fuel pump, without the belt on the front. So we won't have very much fuel. We don't have any coolant. We don't have any of that stuff. Just want to see if this thing's going to light off. I got the timing set where I think it should be fine. Dump some fuel in it. This battery might die in the middle of this, but give it a shot. We're going to dump some fuel. More than we need into there. My dad always told me to put these things back on, just because if there's a fire, at least it's contained. Here we go. Battery's too dead. Oh, battery's dead, but we got another dead battery. So hopefully if we put the two dead batteries together, it'll be enough. Now, yeah, we could go get a booster pack, but we don't have a booster pack. Can't boost it with the truck because you can't drive the truck in here. Actually, we should flip that around because if that touches that, it's probably not good. And we're using a stupid GM side post battery. So there's no top post up here, which makes it more annoying. So we'll connect our dead battery to the other dead battery. I also don't know how to fill the hole on this car because I don't know where the vent is. But I think there's some fuel in it. That started out pretty good, didn't it? Nice. Probably just one out the exhaust. Hooked up a fuel pump to the back, little electrical fuel pump. Got the bowls filled up again. We're gonna see if she'll light off for a little bit longer this time. VORTEC 350, got it running, got some coolant in it. Had to switch out the carb because the other one wouldn't let it idle down. We have exhaust leaks. One right there on the back side. Two on this side over here. Should have got new gaskets for it, but I didn't. So, it's been about a week since you guys just last saw the last update of the car. Haven't done anything because I got to change out the exhaust gaskets. Then I want to run the motor a second time and drain out this oil and put a new fresh oil in it. Can't really do a test drive now because a bunch of snow is on the road. So we're either going to have to wait for all the snow to melt, which can happen sometimes in the winters that we have here, and then the roads will be clear. You can take it for a test drive, or we got to wait till spring. But anyway, we're going to finish up what we can. There's still a bunch of stuff I want to make and do on this thing to clean it up perfectly. All right, there we go. Exhaust gaskets fixed. No more exhaust leaks. At least I don't think, anyway. Doesn't feel like it. Still kind of sounds like you got something, maybe valve train noise up there. Not a lot. Anyway, I'm not concerned about it. It's running good right now. Backfired at the intake. Weird. Probably because it's still a little bit cold. We have no choke on this carb. It's disabled, so I had to turn up the idle a little bit. I'm gonna let this thing run, and then I'm gonna change the oil on it. Again, 2 batteries. I need to get a new battery. Both of these are shot. They came out of my truck. They're both no good. Power steering works. Oops. It's a GM product, so everything's pretty much the same. When you're going ahead and switching everything over like this, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple to switch everything over. There we go.